Woohoo! Hello, my friends. We are back again. And if I hit all the right buttons, we are live again on YouTube for Talk Power BI Friday. Now, this one is a very special episode, and we have a special guest here. So I'm gonna check to make sure kind of the audio is working. If you're watching live, just say hi. Let us know where you are watching this from, and let us know the audio and video feeds are working. I have done presentations where I've gone 10 minutes and they're like, oops, it wasn't working. And I know today's one is really special, so I don't want you to miss any part of that at all. How do I do this? Nope. Live control room. Where is the chat? Oh, there we go. All right. So who is on? Asif Hafiz says hi from Saudi Arabia. Right? Rahim is there from Karachi, Pakistan. It's pretty late in that neck of the woods, so thank you so much for joining there. Saeed from New Jersey. Christopher Hastings is here from Dallas, Washington. That's a little closer. Oh, wait, did I? No, Olala, Washington. Cool, close enough. Rajendra says hi from Munich. And Brian is here from Michigan. Ankit says hello from UK. Vivek, man, you got a turnout here. Orlando from Houston. And Heather is on as well. Says audio is working fine. Shanob is here. Good to see you here, my friend. Yuan from Martinique, but now in Montreal. Cool. So we look all set. So let me give you guys a quick introduction, and then I want Vivek to take it away. So Vivek, I'm going to make you a presenter in just a second, and you would be able to... Are you going to share your screen to begin with, or do you have some stuff you just want to talk about before you share the screen? Either way, it's good. Cool. All right, so my friends, Vivek is a close friend. He's a Microsoft MVP. He's based in Toronto, and I met him, I think, at one of the Microsoft MVP meetups. And I should let you know that he is the founder or the co-founder of the Toronto Power BI user group, and that's not one of the largest. As far as I know, that is the largest active group, and they have scintillating meetings every month, if not more often. I have been a guest there as well. And besides that, he has helped large companies deploy Power BI, and now he runs his own company, Insight to Action, and that just gives an opportunity to help everybody in a bigger, better way. So Vivek, feel free to add anything on your side, and I'll also make you presenter so you can take it away. So guys, you're in for a treat. Because I've seen Vivek present before at the University of Washington. I loved it, and that's why I brought him here to share it with every one of you. So Vivek, take it away. Anything you wanted to add to the intro? Anything else you want to share about yourself? All right. That's great. Yeah, that's one of my favorite aspects about Power BI. The community, the sense of community, is really strong. I mean, of course, I'm lucky, kind of like doubly lucky, because I'm part of the Power BI community, and then I have my kind of student community hang out with. But yeah, it's all good. So Vivek, yeah, take it away. All floor is yours, my friend. Oh gosh, yeah. So all right. Let's see. Huh. Yeah, but they're on YouTube streaming. Let's see. Audio. Oh gosh, audio input. Let's see. Okay, let's try this. So Vivek, go ahead and say something.
Check. Yeah, I think I'm getting feed. I have other computer on that. I'm getting feed and everything. Okay. So if anybody can just
Yeah.
confirm on chat window or say
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
No, we need. Okay, yes. Christopher Hastings says he's on. All right, Steve. Thank you so much, man. All right, great. We're all set, Vivek. Full speed ahead, my friend.
perfect. So thank you everyone uh, for joining today's webinar. Uh, Today's webinar is going to be mainly based on data that is extracted from SAP. So the concept around how I measure the matrix and everything is going to be based on supply chain analytics that are in SAP. Uh, there are some metrics that every company they measure, and some of the metrics are specific to companies. So today we'll be looking at around 11 metrics, which when I was working at Aecon and some other companies, when I was working in supply chain analytics, those are the metrics I think it's more relevant to supply chain. And
Yeah.
what we are going to discuss is the definition, how do you create, and some of the concept on how do you create a supply chain dashboard in Power BI.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that comes from the data that I'm extracting is from SAP. I cannot show you the back end of the SAP, but I'll be able to answer anything, any question that are related to uh, creating a dashboard and creating those metrics. How do you extract the data? I'll be able to give you the name of the tables that we can use and all. So having said that, okay, uh, we are just going to go into uh, presentation more.
Okay, so Vivek,
Just
actually, can
yeah,
I ask you a quick question? So, when I normally work with, I either work with kind of small and medium companies, or if I'm working with a
mhm.
big company, usually I work with the pioneers, the first guys who was rolling it out. So the scale is kind of small. Like it could be a really big company, but I'm working with like the one department. So give us a sense of a scale of the size of these projects. So the companies are helping with this stuff. Yeah, what are we talking about? Uh,
So particularly in this type of a dashboard, normally it starts if it is not full blown implementation, then it starts with the department. Say you have 10 different supply chain areas, and it may
yeah,
start from one area. It does take time. Sometime if if the initiative is not from the executive to go full board with the supply chain analytics and using Power BI as a tool. So
got it.
it does start small first.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the companies it starts small, but after the success that other people who are using it, they share it with their colleagues. That is the time it expands. So
Yeah,
most of the cases it starts very small,
yeah, but
and it and,
that's good
and
to
it
know.
could be yeah it could be even they have Excel worksheets that they are using as a reference for sharing information.
Yeah,
uh, the thing starts is okay, I have this,
yeah,
and now I want to convert something which is scalable, which is reusable, which has a minimum maintenance and all. So
yeah.
just to give you example, say uh, I was working in one company where they had 135 different companies under one umbrella, and they had a different department within uh, each and every company. They were doing their analytics, supply chain analytics, based on what are the definition they consider for late payment or late deliveries and
Yeah.
all. So they had a definition which was different for each company, and then each of them were they had their own dashboard. So
Yeah.
the company as a whole was not aligned. There was
Mm-hmm.
not a single version of truth that anybody can see
Yeah.
from top down. So just a process improvement when we did some of the initial data collection
Yeah.
was one analyst in each company. They were spending around 10 hours a week to pull the data from different source system, trying to transform those massage based on what each and every company they have uh, definition.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just multiply that, 135 10 is
Wow.
1350. And then if you just multiply that with the HR rate, I'm just taking bare minimum like a $40, it's 54,000, and then you multiply that by 52 weeks, it is almost 2.8 million. So when you consider, like when you start a project which is small, but
Yeah.
when you show them the impact, like at the beginning, that okay, this is what is going to be outcome, you're going to save
Mm-hmm.
2.8, and with the fact, not
Yeah.
considering that okay, this is my previous experience, just ask them, okay, how much time you're spending, what type of data pull you are doing. Can
Mm-hmm.
it be automated by Power BI? Can it be uh, can there be a one dashboard, and with the row level security that is available in Power BI, can I break it down to 135 companies where they have their individual view? So those type of
Yeah.
things are more uh, like in terms of buy-in and in terms of adaptation, those type of things does help, and those are the things I do first.
That's great. So guys, we haven't even kind of stepped into it, but you heard some of these big things here. For one, Power BI, and I love it. And I'm glad Vivek said that oh, you don't have to start big, you start small. And you hear me talking about that all the time. Like Power BI is agile BI, peel the onion, go that way. So I'm glad to be hearing the same thing from Vivek. But I love that part that the scale is almost infinite, right? I mean, you're talking about this 135 companies, so you can take the same thing and scale it really quickly, really fast, and have it be this giant. All right, Vivek. So cool. So I see some screenshots on there. Yep. Go ahead. Let's dive into it.
And just to add one more thing, when you say scalability, when you have a source system which is structured data like SAP, even though you start with the 5 companies and later on 10 companies are joining, you don't need to work. If you are using Power BI, you
Yeah.
don't need to prepare 10 different dashboard for them, because you have same source system structured data. Once you create a dashboard, it's just
Yep.
adding more companies. So
So easy.
in that terms also, it's very easy.
Terrific.
Okay, so this is the one we did, University of Washington. So I had a picture. I thought, okay, I'll show you
It's
here.
beautiful. Yep.
We had a very good session over there. Chuck Sterling is here, Avi and Philip and uh, Luke LaBelle. So it was very good
Yeah.
session. Little bit about myself, we already discussed, so I'm going to skip it. We have limited time, and I want to cover a lot and
Yeah.
answer the
I'll just
question that
say
we have.
that in the video description for everybody who's watching YouTube, in the video description is a link where you can follow Vivek and find out more about him. So right. So all you have to do is just kind of follow the link. All right. Carry on.
Okay. And I thought, okay, most of the time we make a bio using plain text. I said, why not use a Power BI? So
All
I,
right.
I, I was just having fun, and I put it over here,
Okay.
which will be shared. So just some people who are trying to create a company website where you want to put a link and use it as a reference, you can use this card visual, which is a very good visual if you have those. So you can just click on it and say social media, and you have option that
Let's love it. Your
so this is
resume in Power BI.
yeah, so why not use Power BI for everything? So this is
That's
just
great.
a sample. Okay,
Love it.
let us start. So those are the KPI dashboard that we are going to create, or not create, but at least discuss in detail. Uh, if I start from beginning, I have a two version. One of the one you're looking at, it's a
Mm-hmm.
screenshot, is a trend visual, which will show you last few weeks trend,
Okay.
and you could also use dial if you want to use.
Got it.
And normally, when you start a Power BI dashboard, you want to give a first page as a summary. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what you saw. And then you also want users to drill into the data and take action on that. So w- once those are the KPI, and then the way I created is it's clickable, so that when you click, it goes to the detail view, which is this. And if you have
Yeah.
a multiple pages on same type of KPI. It's
Yeah.
always better to be consistent in design, not creating a different color combination or different layouts.
Yeah.
So in order for the, to make it more easy to read and when they start using, they know where to click it.
Yeah.
I kept this one consistent throughout for all the matrix. Some of the KPI, if I discuss, if I give a little bit overview, not in detail, but if I give you some overview, it's a non-compliant purchases. So what does that mean? So many times we create a purchase order and then we send it to vendor, they ship it, and then we
Hmm.
close the invoice when we receive. But many time what happens is invoice is received before creating purchase order. What does that mean? Somebody picked up the phone, there is a shortage, no PO is created, and call the vendor, hey, can you ship it?
Yeah.
And it is possible that we receive uh, invoice, part is shipped, receive invoice, but there is no purchase order. This is a
Yeah.
very, very bad habit.
Yeah.
So it's good to track that information.
That's great. So
So,
if I can, step in for just a second. So that is big, guys. And what I want you to do if you're watching is that don't get stuck up on the lingo and don't say that, oh, this doesn't apply to me. I don't work with supply chain, right? So take the underlying message. The underlying message here is that you can report an overall number, overall activity, but you can go to the next level, which is what Vivek was talking about, is like report on the
mhm.
exceptions, right? And that's what needs your attention, and that makes the report more actionable. That's what it's about, not just putting numbers on there, but driving some action, and that's where Vivek is going at. So he's kind of hitting it right on the nerve there. All right, carry
and
on, my friend.
setting the targets also. So you want to measure your success against some measures like some targets.
Yeah.
So that's also very critical.
Yep, and that applies to everybody, right? So yeah, cool.
Yeah. PO confirmation is another thing where you send a PO and confirm with the vendor. You want to make sure that vendor understand your requirement and you have a proper information back from them.
Hmm.
Material master usage. I'm going to go quickly because I want to
Yeah.
cover more on Power BI side. So
Yeah.
some of the matrix I'm going to go very quickly. Material master usage is many times you create a PO. Uh, if you have a clean master data, you use master data, and most of the information from master data flows into your purchase order. But there are cases where people are just writing a tax PO and sending it to vendor. Those type of POs are very bad in terms of analytics because you don't get any analytics out of it because you don't know if I bought 10 before but now I'm using tax, I cannot link both the purchases together. So it's good to track that. Demand lead time is when I have requisition is created up to the delivery date. So what is how long you have, like if my delivery date is tomorrow and somebody is sending requisition, then it's a bad purchase because I may have to rush it, I may have to pay extra money to expedite it. So it's good to track that. Receiving lead time is actual versus SAP entry date. So that's another thing.
Okay.
Late deliveries is against your requirement date. How do you track? GRIR, it's everybody knows in SAP. It's just a clearing document and comparing with the good receipt. And blocked invoices, those are some of the standard SAP table. MRBR is there.
Yeah.
If you are aware of that, then you already know those are the block on which you are not able to pay to vendor. And some of the preferred vendors. So say you have some critical vendors that you want to track. So in all, all, all I am saying is in your company, you may have a different source system, not SAP, but the concept in supply chain remains same.
Yeah.
And you may have some additional matrix that you that will be industry specific. But this is to just give you overview on what some of the matrix you can measure
Yeah.
in supply chain.
Yeah, I'll also say that you can even take it a step kind of further and generalize even further. So, guys, what you're seeing is basically KPIs. So, even if you're not doing supply chain, you may step back and say, oh, what are the KPIs for me? But then what Vivek is going to show you, a lot of that is still going to apply, but you're going to just do it with your own KPIs. So go ahead, Vivek, give us a look into these KPIs.
Perfect. So this is the one we looked at it first. When you are creating dashboard and you are using color to separate what is good and bad, make sure that user understands. So the way I started is I put here low is good, uh, high is good. So anywhere you see yellow
Ah,
off, so those are low is good, because sometimes you have a matrix that okay, I want to have material master usage 90%. If it is 86% and
yeah,
high is good, then it should be green. Sorry, it should be your difference of 4. But if low is good, then you have to think differently. So you
yeah,
have to make sure that when you are setting up your goal, which direction is good. And you
love it.
have in Power BI that option to mark it low is good, or in if I go to one of the visual and
So that one is a
I can.
KPI visual, right? The 86.83. Is that what it is?
So in this one, I'm hiding. So let me click and then show
Oh,
you.
nifty.
Yeah. So this is trick, and I'm going to explain that also.
Awesome. Cool.
It's a KPI visual, but say you created this type of visual. Now you want to make it clickable so that when you click,
Mm-hmm.
it takes you to the different windows. See, when you click it,
Yeah,
it goes to the detail view. If you
perfect.
want to make something like this, I'm just along when I'm explaining, I'll show some of the tricks as well. So when
Love
you're
it.
creating your dashboard, you can use that in your company. So it's a very, very easy trick. This is a line. What
Okay.
I'm doing is I'm going to delete this and I'm going to add it just to make sure. So now I have a visual here, but it is not clickable because you cannot
Mm-hmm.
assign uh, the property to, so that when you click, there is no option for adding bookmark there. So
Mm-hmm.
what you do is you just go to the uh, shape, and what I do is I just add a line. Now, if you are watching, there is a line. I
Mm-hmm.
just try to align on top of it now so that it is covering.
Mm-hmm.
And if, because now it is hiding behind, let me enable the selection pane. And
Probably at the top. I don't know. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
I'll just go back and it will
Or if
pop
you,
up. So I
yes.
have this,
Ah, there we go.
and what I do is I put it at the top, or at least in a higher order, so it is in the front. For now, I'm just going to put it here. It didn't go.
Well,
Come on.
yeah, I'm not sure if the top is the is the front or yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, normally you just whatever visual you have at the back, put it on top of that. At least it should be on top of that. So now that it is here, it is in the front. And the next step I do is I just try to minimize and make it just on top of that visual.
Uh huh.
And then you have an option in a line to make it either transparent, you don't need to, but you make the zero
Got it.
number. So now that line is not visible. And once that is done, then you have action option, you have a bookmark, and now you can select whatever page you want to jump to.
Got it.
So in this case, say I selected receiving lead time just to give you example, and then when I change the date and everything, all the visual in the background
Mm-hmm.
does change,
Of course.
and you also have option to click and jump to receiving lead time. So this is how you
Awesome.
you
And
can create like a experience, like a browser type experience. This
yeah.
works better when you are in Power BI services
Mm-hmm. And I see
because
there's a back arrow there, which in Power BI service, they'll just click to see detail and then go
yeah,
click back arrow and it'll bring them back to that. And so
that's
done
correct.
through bookmarks, but your approach of using the line to kind of overlay it. So, and again, I just want to kind of recap just to make sure I understand, and hopefully that helps others too,
Hmm.
is that the goal is to start with a high level dashboard. So we're talking about
Yeah,
big companies, possibly a company of companies. You talked about that, right? The scale can be really big, and start with a KPI, and that's going to align everybody together. Like, yep, these are big numbers, but then you want to see dive deeper, and it's easy as just clicking and seeing more detail. Awesome, love it.
okay. So then I'm going to go to the next level, which is similar one, exactly same dashboard, same data, but if you want to represent differently, you have other option here
Mm-hmm.
is your gauge.
Yeah.
I like the other one because it gives me trend over the period of time, but you can use this as well. This is easy to understand.
Although I'm thinking about this one, is that it's hard for me to think about, look at these images and
Hmm.
think lower is better. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it's I see that bar. So the black line is the target. Is that it?
yes.
Yeah. So somehow, yeah, but maybe that's just me. I mean, uh, somehow in my mind, yeah. Okay, cool. So, but hey, it's a choice. I mean, they have both options. Show it this way, show it that way. Great.
And then when you are designing the detail level options, you have a few other things you can play around with. So
Mm-hmm.
in this case, my lower is good, so I make sure that each and every dashboard or each and every detail page
Yeah.
I make sure that they understand what low is good.
Got it.
Also, for each and every KPI, uh, normally I design on the left-hand side some of the quick numbers so that if I'm interested in, say, one company here, I have those data are changing here.
Mm-hmm.
So just a simple plant information, vendor category, subcategory,
Yeah.
and you also have a buyer name. Now, why this is important to give a buyer name filter is if somebody is interested in taking action, and when we go further along, I'll show you the detailed data that is available when they are taking action. They have
Mm-hmm.
all the row level information. They have,
Wow.
if they are looking for, say, incorrect invoices, right away they can go and find out. So it's always good to give a option that are available in filters.
Oh my God, I can't
Now
wait.
within, yeah, this was designed few months back, but now with the latest update and all, you have a ton of option that you can use to make it more user friendly. So uh, there are like you can create a pop-up uh, selection bar also here, or uh, on the side with using bookmark you can hide selectively on the same pan. You can hide or show the
Hmm.
filters so it doesn't occupy the real estate. But if somebody is going to use on regular basis, it is always better to provide here.
Yeah, and really the big message that I'm taking, and it's kind of surreal to see it. So the email that I sent out just earlier was that Power BI gives you the ability to kind of zoom in at that 50,000 feet level, look at the forest, but then dive down, down, down to like single tree, single leaf, if you will, right? So I love that. So I know you're gonna show us more in that. So keep on, my
Yeah.
friend. This is great.
And also there are some other options. So remember in a KPI dashboard, we were looking at this style individually for all KPI 11 or 12
Mm-hmm.
together on one page. Now, when you are going for individual page, same information I'm showing on the left hand side.
Yeah. Got
Now,
it.
other option I use heavily is a tooltip option that was added. So, you can just go over and design a tooltip so that I get additional information at
Yeah.
whatever level I am, just to show you more uh, plain area because I remove some of the color scheme and all.
Hmm.
It will show you the trend also. So now I'm interested in one of the company, but I want to know some of the top contributors, so I can right away see bike is the top one,
Yeah.
and what is the year over year, what is the growth of that. And on the right hand side top, it's a 0% and 5%. So what it shows is compared to last year,
Yeah.
where we are, and some of the
Yeah.
non-compliance. So zero is good because none of them are non-compliance.
Great.
But
So,
last year it was 5%, so it's a good improvement.
yeah. So hey, this is so beautiful, and I delve more, more in the kind of the model and the query editor, and I'm sure you work there too. But it's great to
Mhm.
see the visualization layer and see that how many different options are there for you to orchestrate the exact experience the customer needs, right? So initially you said, oh, high level and click drill down, but here you're saying, oh, here we're already seeing detail, but you don't have to
Mhm.
click. You can just hover over, and I'm going to show you a
Yeah,
little bit more rich information. Beautiful.
yeah. And you also have a hierarchy. So I just created a hierarchy here. You have an option to drill down.
Got it.
So you're at the next hierarchy, and if you created a proper drill down, you should be able to like see at the each and every level those tooltip. But in this case, I didn't design, so you can
Got it.
add some of those options as well.
All right. That's great.
Uh, Another thing is normally people like the just to get the overview, they like the graph. So we are showing them graph here, very high level view. But what if somebody like a buyer, they are more interested in, okay, what is in there for me? How
Yeah.
do I use the information right away and
Yeah.
take action? So again, same concept using bookmark. You can use images and then use a bookmark to selectively hide some of the visuals. So in this case, if you can see, I have
Mm-hmm.
a graph and I have a table.
Yep.
If I create a bookmark, I can selectively on the same page, I can hide
Mm-hmm.
the graph and I can show
Yeah.
the
Hey,
table information.
yeah.
And
Yeah. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you bring up the selection pane?
yeah,
So folks, yeah, bookmarks. I mean, they're pretty magical. You're seeing they can be used to. It's kind of like the Pandora's box. You can use them in a very flexible way. So you notice in the selection pane that all the elements are shown, but some have the eye icon there, and some have the dash. So it's just right now on this page. That's what the bookmark is doing: is hiding some elements and then turning it on. Hey, can you do me a favor? Wait, click on the graph again, and folks who are
yeah,
watching, you will see the things toggle. So you notice that different elements light up now and I'm being shown. All right, cool. So let's take us back to the detail because I didn't even get a chance to look at it. So this is if so I'm kind of a very detailed level, buyer level. Say, hey, I'm only interested in my stuff, and then they can dig into this and they see this detailed, rich information.
yeah.
Sweet.
And if you are using row level security and properly, if it is assigned, what buyer will see is only the data that are relevant to them. Right now what you're looking at is
Yeah.
entire data set. But if you are using row level security and say I am a buyer here,
Uh huh.
before as soon as I go
Ah,
here, my
got
data
it.
is filtered for me only,
Got it.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing the data which confuses me. Those are for other buyers and all.
Perfect.
And also, if you are interested in some of the custom visual, one of the visual that I'm using right now is a zoom chart. I I'm going to go into focus mode, and it is good option. So if you have, they have three types of visual. One is a time series. I'm not trying to promote, but it is a good option. So I want to
Yeah.
show you that this is a possible thing. I
Hmm.
like whatever visual is standard visual, but sometimes I use a custom visual in order to make it more user friendly and more mobile friendly. So some of the option why I like is I can have a ton of uh, data point here, and I can selectively hide some of them as well. And if I'm interested in just
Ah,
looking at one, so I can have a multiple data point and I can compare. Also, say this is time series and I want to focus on
yeah.
2017. As soon as I click, it goes in and goes in.
Whoa,
If you
wait,
want to,
like how are you doing it? Are you clicking or are you using the mouse
it just,
zoom?
no, it is just clicking. As
Okay.
soon as you click, it
Yeah.
goes into the next level.
Man, it looks beautiful. Even the transition is very beautiful.
Yeah, and if you want to select this time period, you just click it and
And
drag it,
drag?
and now we are filtering that data for that. So if I go
Nice.
back, if I
It'll
go
cross
outside,
filter everything else.
yeah, this will cross filter, and
Yeah.
then
Oh man,
I can.
love it. I'm in a happy place right now. I will say that usually I advocate to my kind of followers and students that less is more. The standard visuals are fine. That's great to start with. But I think that's one of the incredible strengths of Power BI that yes, less is more. It's usually best to stick to simpler visuals. But whenever you need it, you can reach for a ton of these visuals. And Vivek is just showing one of us. So that's the zoom charts, right? And you said they
Yeah,
have three different variations. That looked really pretty.
and if I'm just going to browse through because some the concept here is a same in terms of designing,
Yeah.
but so let me go to say some other option that I want to give, and then I want to leave some time for question and answer as well. So
Terrific.
just this one, since we are looking at Zoom chart, I want to show other option also, just to give you idea about that what other visuals are there. And I love this one, which if you have a hierarchy, when you click it, it goes to the next level, and if you want to go back, you click in the middle and it
Yeah.
goes out, and it is filtering the data as well. So,
Pretty cool. I mean,
and yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say I have my thoughts about pie chart, but guys, if you're gonna do pie chart, might as well do this. I mean that looks great, and the interaction is great. All right, and you have one more for us, right?
And this one is Zebra BI. Now, just for everybody who is online, this is a free visual, so you don't have to pay anything. But if you are doing some financial analysis and all, it's a great visual. They are coming up with new visuals as well,
Mm-hmm.
and it is. I have a link. I think. I will put it here when I share, but there is a link for Zebra BI you can type, and
Yeah.
this is a free visual. uh,
Beautiful.
it's a very nice interface as well. When I want to show a data, I want to compare against last year to this year. This is the one I use, my preference. So you have option to change to different types. So say I want to see last year, current year, and then the variation. You can
Mm-hmm.
show that as well. You as soon as you create that,
Yeah.
you get all this view as well. Also, what is cool about this is you have three different option here. So say I'm filtering, it cross filters the data. You can
Mm-hmm.
also create a hierarchy. So in this case, say I want to, and also, yeah, you can change the number. So this is showing the variation, but when you click, now it shows the number. I don't know whether it is visible or not.
Yeah. I mean, I can
But
see it. So basically, you change from a
okay,
dollar to percentage, something like that. Yeah. The
dollar
number.
to percentage, or
Yeah.
you want to show both.
Both.
So you have those options as well. Uh, when you have, if you have a hierarchy here, so I'm just going to go to the fill list. If you have just simple hierarchy like that,
Mm-hmm.
then it creates nice hierarchy views. So bike and what type of bike,
Yeah,
and
that
then
that looks beautiful. So, man, that looks phenomenal. I've seen you present this before, and I was pretty impressed. And often when people kind of on finance come to me and they have very very specific requirements, like I want to show my data this way, I just tell them
Mhm,
just use Excel as a visual layer. You can have your model in
mhm,
Power BI and then still connect an Excel visual, and that give you ultimate control. But I say that, but in my heart I know that sometimes that's kind of not an option. I mean, they really want to be able to use it in Power BI and put it along some other visuals. So that's great. I mean, clearly this is geared toward finance and gives you a lot of flexibility. It looks beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. So Vivek, I wanted to kind of emphasize one more point which you did talk about. Can you go back to one of those standard detail pages that you had? So folks, Vivek did say that, and I'm going to reiterate it because I think it's important. So that consistent look, Vivek talked about that, right? So you start with a high level, but then as you click to see the detail of any of those KPIs, the detail page, it's not like if you have 15 KPIs, the 15 detail pages are each unique. They all have the same look and feel, and that's what I think makes this whole thing work. And it's very intentional on Vivek's part. It's very been carefully designed that, yep, each one of them has kind of a similar layout, similar feel. Of course, they might show different numbers, but the overall layout is same, and that's a massive stroke. I mean, that's certainly the right way to do it. Cool. So Vivek, do you have any more goodies for us, or do you want to see if you have questions from the group?
I think I'll answer the question if it is there, because if you have design related question or anything, it's good
Yeah.
idea to show them.
Okay, so I thought I would keep an eye on the chat, but I got so engrossed in this. I'm so glad I forgot to introduce our moderator, Steve Ross. Steve, as always, thank you for being here. So, Steve, did you catch anything, any specific questions or comments or thoughts from the YouTube chat?
Yeah, there was a couple, just people wanting clarification as to what the visuals were called. I believe one was a zoom chart. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
then,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and just comments about how they might use it,
Cool.
but
So,
no real questions.
okay, so for the visuals, I think the basic one is KPI, and I know for the click you just added a line over there. I did want to
Yeah.
ask that part that is showing low is good. What is that? And on the big dashboard as well, what is that? Is that just an image?
Yeah. So, another thing I did here, and it looks good because normal Power BI, when you are trying to create, let me go to summary one.
Yeah, it makes it look like a card. So I wanted to ask you about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is a trick again here is let me break it down. So this is my line. Now this is my visual, and I created image. So this, what I'm doing is first I'm putting image. On top of that, I'm putting this. So now it has a nice look and feel of a
Yes.
card.
Yes.
And
Beautiful.
also you can show colors. So what I did was when I created
A
some of
set of
the
images.
card. So not here, but
Yeah, but you can
yeah,
create it in
images. Yeah,
PowerPoint
just
or something like that. Yeah. Right.
yeah, just in PowerPoint and then export as a PNG,
You got
and
it.
then you just lay it over. At the back you have nice this curve you can create, and whatever you want to write just save it as images, and then you will have a better look and feel. You have full control on colors and everything. Otherwise it's difficult to have this type of vis- like a visually appealing curves on the top.
Yeah, yeah, it does make it look beautiful. So some of the new comments coming in. Ankit loved the Zebra BI. Folks are asking about if they can get this file. So Vivek, you're going to be able to make this available to the audience. We can sync
Oh
on that
yeah,
later.
no problem. Yeah,
Perfect.
no
So
problem.
yeah, so we'll get it to you guys. And again, if you want to follow Vivek, I mean, clearly he's a Power BI rock star, so you should. And his link is in the video description that you're watching right now. Da, da. Let's see. So Steve, anything else that was interesting in the chat earlier?
Just positive comments about the model.
Okay. Yes, of course. All right. So let's check in on the phone. And hey, I'm now watching the chat more closely, so we'll get to that. But if you on the phone, if you have any questions, you've got Vivek's ear, so go for it. So Ankit has a question, and I'll read it out. I'm not sure I fully understand it. So Ankit is asking, what are the other visuals which are best for rectangular select? Oh, I'm thinking the one that you showed in the last one, Zebra BI, where you can just drag the date to select. So selecting multiple data points with rectangular select. I have tried scatter plot by that's custom visual for that. So anything else comes to mind? So yeah, I've seen the custom visual scatter plot where you can drag your mouse across a bunch of dots on the scatter plot, but that should be it, right? I don't. Maybe there's something else out there.
Yes, scatter plot I use sometime, but because some of the visual that are in the standard one, like if you see Zoom chart has one of the network chart, there is another custom visual similar to network chart that helps too,
Yeah,
because that then you have a complete hierarchy. If you want to link it, you can do that. So
got it.
let me show you that option as well. If you
Wow,
say
and and
I
that
have some.
and that one has
Yeah,
the select as well, where you can kind of drag and select some
yeah,
points.
it has many options. So say I have this hierarchy and I'm changing it to network chart, and let me go to full screen mode.
All right.
So you have a select option. So say I want to hide this yellow one, I have that option. Now I'm looking at only the two labels. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have multiple hierarchies, you can select also. When you select, it points to wherever it is linked.
All
So,
right.
and then if you want to just look at the highest level company code level, you can do that as well,
All
and
right.
you can rearrange. So there are multiple. Like normally, what I do is I don't use that many custom visual, but I
Mm-hmm.
try it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like it, especially those this two I love
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
So I use a lot
Yeah.
because it gives me more. And especially when you are using a mobile device, it's a very touch friendly. So
Wow.
some of the visual that I'm showing you, I use regularly. I'm not saying that it is good for everybody, but
Yeah. Try it
at
out.
least try it out.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So guys, you heard Vivek. I would totally agree with that. I mean, stick with the standard visuals. So one person I met, I was talking to them, and they were so excited, like, oh gosh, I just started with Power BI, and first thing I did is I it downloaded and added every custom visuals, and I'm gonna go visual by visual and explore that. If you're going down that road, you've kind of missed the point. So Vivek, of course, he showed the visual layer, but I'm sure there's a lot of kind of architecture behind it. That's how kind of you do the query editor thing, you do the DAX thing, and then come the visuals. So cool. So let's see some new comments here. Mm, got it. So folks, we'll make sure we get you the file. We'll probably update the description in this video itself, so you can come back and get it. If you're on, yeah. So we'll make sure you can get it from Wake. Recording is going to be here on my channel, so if you join midway or something, you can go back and catch all of Vivek's tips. Bhavesh is asking, do custom visuals support hover-based tooltips? I think I know it depends on visual to visual. Even standard Power BI visuals, not all of them support the hover
Not
tooltips.
all of them. Yeah, not all of them. Just one thing, Avi, I would like to add here is I will be removing the Zebra BI and the Zoom chart
Yeah.
connectors, because as a file package, it goes with that. And Zebra BI, sorry, the Zoom chart is a licensed version. So
Mm-hmm.
that I will give
Sure.
complete model,
Yep.
but the connectors I'll remove it. Just
Great. Yep, that makes sense. And of course, people have the video. They can come back. They can get the visual for themselves, and
yeah.
kind of explore that. That's great. So Utmane says, "Thank you. This is very helpful." Christopher is saying, "Do the custom visuals support interactive filtering?" They absolutely do. And
Yes.
just show us one more time. I don't know, one of these. So yeah. and again, maybe not all of them, but I think most of the ones that I've used, some are more sophisticated than other. Like as you saw, the rectangular select, I mean, that's really fancy. So you may not find that in all of them, but the ones that Vivek picked, and I'm glad he shared that with us, that he's very picky about custom visuals, because I kind of get lost in there too. Like, oh my gosh, so many custom visuals, but you've seen that he tries them, but he doesn't go all out. And standard visuals are awesome, and he's picky about the ones he likes. So great. So now, yeah, you just saw Vivek kind of drag and drop and select. So most of the ones that I've worked with, they do support interactive filtering. Awesome. Cool. So I'll yeah, go ahead, Vivek.
And also, if this is on the Power BI services, and if you want to see like a touch option also, it's very smooth in terms of interacting
Yeah.
with that. So I'm just going to use my hand
Uh-huh.
to touch, and
Wow.
it's very user friendly as well.
Oh gosh, would make for a great demo, right? You're just sitting down with somebody with your tablet, and you would just, like, hey, look, I did this.
Yeah. So right now I'm just going to click.
Uh-huh.
Okay, focus mode, and let us select. And also another thing, cool feature, you can just when you move your hand just in a touch mode,
Uh-huh.
if you just touch it and move it up, it it will
Ah,
change the layout. Like so, from years
yeah,
to, if you want to go to the month level, you just need to
move down.
drag up and down, and it changes.
Man,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see why you're picky about custom visual, but you've certainly picked a good one there. Okay, cool. So hey, I'm not seeing any new questions there on the phone. Let's do kind of a last round. But I wanted to, so if you have something, kind of speak up now. So Vivek, I wanted to extend a big thank you to you. My friend, I've seen this presentation, and I know everybody at the University of Washington got a lot of value out of it, and clearly everybody watching online, all the comments that came in. This is really powerful. So my friends, again, the hope was, why I wanted to bring Vivek was to kind of show everybody that big picture view of what is possible with Power BI. So we're talking, big corporation, obviously Fortune 500 companies. He had that example of a company of companies where they had 100 plus companies within them, and be able to build something which scales up. But I also like the fact that Vivek, kind of calmed me down. Like, no, you don't have to start there. Just start small, but then you would be able to scale that up. And it's kind of one of those things where when I'm reminded of that, when I see that in action, I kind of fall in love with Power BI all over again. So Vivek, thank you so much. And yeah, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, guys, take
Thank
care.
thank you everybody online.
Yep, we'll see you next time, and we'll make sure the file gets posted to you in the video description.